Distilled shenanigans. Distilled shenanigans. Welcome to the first episode of Distilled Shenanigans for 2024. I took a little bit of a break there in December and January to kind of regroup and really figure out some new things, including that microphone that was driving me crazy. I futzed around with that for a couple weeks trying to salvage some stuff that I recorded in New Orleans when I was down there at the Sazerac house and some other things, and it just did not work out in my favor. So we're starting anew and we're going to go from there. I am so excited about a couple Christmas presents that I got over the holidays. The first one is from my mommy dearest. She got me this wonderful soap dispenser and put Lulu's Lounge on it. Super cute. I really love it. I can't believe that she had that made. It goes in my bathroom and it matches the lounge. So that was pretty cool. And then I always get a purse for Christmas. And I walked into the store and I saw this thing. And I walked out of the store and I couldn't stop thinking about it. But, I didn't buy it because, the hot pink is really hot pink. And the more I thought about it, the more I wanted it. And when I got it home, I finally realized why I was so drawn to it. It's Lulu's Lounge pink. So it goes great with the decor. Not that I'm going to be walking around with the hot pink feathers or the Lulu's Lounge sign, but pretty excited about this thing to get it out and about. I just got that last week, so excited to get that going. But other than that, I've Marathon 44 went well. We finished, and I've got my metal hanger thing all colored in and metal hung, so we're ready. Training for Marathon 45 starts this week. Starts the first week of February. So, and we got the Rascal, and the Rascal wants to say hi for 2024 too. She just had her first health checkup, and she is doing fantastic for almost a 12-year-old little kitty. So, super happy that went all well, and hopefully many more years of recording with her coming up. So, time to get down to it. I wanted to let you know I'm going to change the format of Distilled Shenanigans a little bit. I'm going to start recording the Libation Legends as a separate thing. I'm finding that they're making the YouTube videos just a little bit too long, so I want to try and keep things a little bit shorter to keep everybody's attention, keep everybody engaged, and hopefully as things move forward, we'll be able to maybe get a little bit longer if we want to, but plus it gives me another reason to post something else at a different time. So my next one will be on the Sazerac and talking about what I learned in New Orleans related to that, but it just won't have much video related to the topic. So that's all right. So the topic of today is we're going to do kind of a Gateway Bourbon series. There's a lot. Sometimes, as we've talked about in the previous episodes, bourbon can be pretty intimidating for folks to get into. And, there's some of those bottles can be very expensive. So, you don't want to, we'll call it waste money on a bottle that you're really not going to like or drink, or an expensive bottle that you're just going to end up mixing in a drink instead of sipping it and enjoying it on the rocks or something like that. So my first pick for the Gateway Bourbon series is Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. This right here, she is number one. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond was rated in the top 5 of bourbons for 2022 as far as the amount of sales. Evan Williams has a whole line of bourbon out there, including a single barrel, which is fantastic. But this Bottle and Bond right here it's really a good place to start. The mash bill for this is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. It's the standard bourbon recipe from Heaven Hill Distillery, who it makes this as along with other bourbons like Heaven Hill and Elijah Craig and McKenna. They all have the same mash bill. A lot of times it's just aged different years. Of course, we have already learned that the bottle and one of the items related to the bottle and bond is it has to be bottled at 100 proof. So this is a 100 proof bourbon, as well as aged at least 4 years. And with a couple other, made from one distillery and aged in a bonded warehouse. So you know what you're going to get every time you get a white label Evan Williams bottle and bond. This white label was first put on the shelves in 2012, and I think it really has been a solid bourbon ever since. I think we should check it out. Another reason I like this as a gateway bourbon is it's relatively inexpensive for what you're getting. It's maybe a $20 bottle or so. So it's not anything that's really, let's see what the kitty thinks about that. Oh, not too bad. She didn't try to bury it, but she is done. So maybe she and whiskey aren't biggest fans. So the first thing we're going to notice when we take a look at our little pour here is the color of the whiskey. It is just a nice bright gold color. Very, very beautiful. But we're going to smell this 3 times. This right here, another reason that it's a good first timer bourbon, it smells sweet. It has like that sugary sweetness, like caramel, like think of like candy, caramel. You can smell vanilla. Oh, it just smells so good. So just enjoy that aroma for a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to taste it. And remember, if you haven't had anything to drink yet today, hopefully, maybe you have, that first sip is you're going to try and desensitize your taste buds. So don't judge it by its first hit. There she is. There she is. So for me on that first hit, I feel like it's rich. It's kind of smooth. I taste a little bit of citrus, maybe some cinnamon kicking around in there. Through the middle of the finish, that cinnamon turns into maybe a little bit of a black pepper, like a not spicy hot like a rye, but it's definitely feeling a little black pepper from that rye and the mash bill. And then the finish is warm and smooth, but it's really light. In fact, some of your enthusiasts may call this a thin bourbon. It doesn't really have a huge bourbon hug to it at the end like some of the higher ABV bourbons will have. It's just really smooth, really light, just a hint of that oak in there from the aging process, and just overall just a nice, clean, smooth finish that's just going to leave you wanting to sip a little bit more. So if you've got somebody who's just trying to break into the world of whiskey or bourbon and you don't want to scare them off with Stag Junior that's going to blow their socks off at like 136 proof or something. This is really for 100 proof whiskey. This really is going to give them a great nose and a great finish to leave them wanting to try more bourbon. For those of us that start moving past the thinner finishes and want something a little bit more complex, this is still a great bottle to have in the arsenal for cocktails. So, well, there you have it. We have Whiskey 1 in the Gateway Bourbon series. I've got a few more coming your way, maybe some Old Forester or a little bit of Knob Creek or Bullet coming next week. I haven't decided yet, But stay tuned, and we will start broadening your bourbon horizons as we move through 2024. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and remember, you only get one shot. Make it top shelf.